Welcome, 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 welcome. This is the new moon in Cancer transmission. My name is Toni. And for those who know me, welcome back. For those who don't, welcome. This transit has been really special, very very gentle. And I think the words that I'm feeling, the energy that's coming through for me is stillness, listening, and this little soft place for joy and laughter and family and connection. And as we maybe take a little moment of a little breather around, coming out of the eclipses, and even just a soft spot around the introspection with all the planets that are in retrograde. There's a lot of data coming in, a lot of things happening, a lot of things swirling around, and I feel like the stillness, I what's coming to me is this vision of a crab, being Cancer. And if we were at the beach or at a little, I was about to say lake, but I don't think crabs hang out at lakes. I guess freshwater crabs. But imagine just a little nook where a crab goes when it's sort of getting away from something or someone, even if that's water coming in and out, and just the places that it sits and just rests and allows the water to come in and out, and the stillness of being sort of in one's agency of their shell, their energy, their who they are. At the moment, Venus and Mars are both in Leo, so there's sort of like this the word pride's coming through, this pride of being still in who we are and what we're learning as we're getting like washed and waves of repetitive or resurgent continual data and information, and that's like learnings and truths about ourselves as we're all waking up. These transits are sort of shining spotlights continuously on us, and as that's happening and coming through, there's a place where we can find stillness to safely observe our world from inside of our shell, and finding joy and peace and laughter and connection within that. And maybe that's with ourself, maybe that's with our wider group, our environment, even in our little home. Cancer refers to the home. And I found that myself. This is me coming to you a couple of days after the new moon, 48 hours almost. And that was me actually taking some introspective and time and energy moments for myself over the last few days, as there was a lot of data and downloads coming to me from different directions. So actually taking that time to keep that energy to myself and to keep that space for myself. And then when I felt maybe safe or comfortable, to be able to come out and connect with you to share what I experienced and how this transit was for me. What about you? How are you doing in your shell? How's your agency of yourself going? Developing or unfolding? how is your home environment? How are the waves hitting you right now? I think sometimes in these videos, a lot of people can be talking at us, at me included, because I watch these and listen to these. But there's something powerful, I feel like, when someone is speaking with me directly, and I guess this is going to anyone who's watching, of really saying thank you, and also having someone actually say, how are you? And what are you feeling right now? What are you experiencing? And how can I be of service to that? So if you would like to join me, I'm going to close my eyes for a little bit and breathe and see what comes in of how I can be of service to you. I'm hearing the words mothering ourselves, how we can, even just taking this breath felt very indulgent and very wild. To kind of take a minute to tune into myself on your clock, on your dime, on your time. And I'm getting this vision of the mother putting the mask on before they put on the child's, and how important that is for all of us. And as we have this little reprieve in the energy of, where are you putting on your own mask before others, and where are you actually giving yourself the energy that you need to mother yourself, versus giving it out to others. For many of you, and actually even let me rephrase this, I believe for all of you that are watching this, you're all light workers in some way. And we're all being asked to kind of step forward and step up and be more mindful of our journey, our role in the world, maybe as humans, as leaders, as counterparts, co-creators, all of those things, whatever level of life you're at or not at, or working on, or family, no family, there's no separation here. And how are you tuning into being fully present in that role, in that place, with those around you? Are you able to hold space for others? Are you setting boundaries? I think I had some recent experiences that I was seeing somebody's patterns and behaviors play out over and over, people repeating themselves, and I had to find some boundaries of being like, I can't listen to this. There's some sort of payoff here for you in saying the same thing in different ways, but I can't participate in that. And, you know, setting those little boundaries kind of with ourselves, but also with the universe of like, I won't take this anymore. Knowing that, you know, the universe is listening, and addressing those helps us free up spaces. I've been listening to Matthew McConaughey a couple of times in some interviews he's been doing around his book Green Light. And what's fascinating is, you know, he's talking about consciousness and awareness in many ways. You know, he's using a very different language. He's kind of created this green light, red light, green, orange light, yellow light. And he talked about sort of what it means, and you know, green lights are those things that are sort of lining up for you. Either, you know, the universe is doing it, or maybe someone does, and you're stepping in and it's flowing. And then, you know, orange lights are things that really have you question, you know, situations to then work out whether it's a stop or a go. And, you know, often trigger something in us to sort of maybe do an internal audit or a search, or to excavate something, and how they can change, you know, course correct our lives in different ways. And red lights being, you know, something that's a hard stop, or something that happens to us. You know, he talks about the death of his father, and how they are also life changes and course correctors. But often there's a green light message in a lot of those experiences. And I think that's what's coming through for me in this, of when we slow down and when we observe ourselves in a more considered fashion, we can see those areas of where maybe we know we're going to walk into something, or we can avoid something. And I think this is the message that's coming, you know, when we slow down and we become more cognizant. I mean, some of this is obvious, and I'm preaching to choirs, no doubt, but actually even just to hear it out loud for ourselves, you know, even myself, of slowing down, it becomes a lot more clear where my green lights are, and how I can move forward into them. And also the feeling, the vibration, everything is a feeling. You know, we know in our bodies when we feel dissonance, you know, tears and tantrums and sickness and ailments and aches and pains are all indication from our body that we are out of alignment in some way. Again, you know, I say a lot of things, these are not new concepts. This is, you know, from other people. This is proven by science, maybe. Could I be as bold to say that? But the green lights become clearer, and the red and the yellow too, of course. But I think, you know, being, you know, green lights beget more green lights when we're open and moving towards green lights and embracing them and the lessons that they bring. More green lights show up, and then our flow is easier. And, you know, talking about these things too, I'm always speaking at multiple levels. You know, not only are we flowing and moving into different situations, but how we deal with them, how we cope with the hiccups or the bumps or the, you know, the washes of the wave. We go back to the crab analogy. How we deal with a lot of those things are different as well. And I think that those things, being mindful of that and tuning into that, of how do I go through these situations, and how do I react? How do I hold space for myself? How do I stand up for myself? How do I set boundaries? You know, as I go through something, you know, as I mentioned, this experience I was on, I saw people behaving in the same ways, looking for the same sort of payoff or experience to come back from others. And when I set boundaries of not falling into that, or not allowing that for me, it helped me see more clearly situations as well. everything that we sort of do in some shape or form allows us to be more in tune with the green lights and the red lights, and to work with the universe, and to bring more joy and happiness to the insides of ourselves. I mean, this journey is inwards. You know, I'm not the first to say that too. This whole world work that we're doing right now is this kind of, I think maybe even this transit's a bit of like the mix between the inside and the outside worlds. You know, the soft spots of the crab at the shell. You know, our structures are changing out. You know, the way we work, the way we travel and be at work, the way our, you know, experiences with the world and you know, the standards and the institutions, things are changing and breaking down. The Capricorn structural element of things is being reduced and re-questioned or revitalized, reimagined. Yeah. So let's take another little moment together. Close your eyes if you're laying down, or you're doing this, listening to this while you're washing the dishes. Maybe stop for a minute and put your hand on your heart if it's available to you, and just breathe into that soft spot behind your heart. It gets me right away. And as we head into the next round of this cycle of the moon, finding place for your intentions around what do I want to hold in my hands and keep close to my heart, and what am I willing to let go of? How can I shed another layer of myself? How can I hold myself steady while I go through the waves of life, surfing and being washed all over, and really, keeping my insides rock solid. It's kind of a fascinating, reversal of the crab. We're rock solid on the outside and the hardness, but the soft, and we want to sort of work out how we can keep the soft bits on the inside sort of grounded and rooted in truth and love, and allow the waves of life to roll over us in a way that we can stay true and present with our emotions and also our dreams, and allow ourselves to be moving from green lights instead of dragging red and yellow ones and running them. It seems crazy. It's like Russian roulette, right? So thank you for being here. Thank you for loving yourself. Thank you for seeing yourself. Thank you for being open to listening. Thank you for receiving consciousness through my voice. Thank you for seeing the light, whatever that means to you. Thank you for having a laugh. Thank you for being real. Thank you for being honest. Thank you for being brutally honest with yourself. I feel like I've said it before, but for those who haven't heard me say this, I believe the truth can dissolve all of that pain and suffering that we carry. Whatever we're hanging on to, if you speak the truth about it, it dissolves very quickly. Because the truth is there to clean us, to clear us, to keep us fresh, and to keep us kind of clean and open as vessels for, what did it today? Storytelling. Stories are a vessel for our values, is what Jeff Krasno on Commune, his podcast with Matthew McConaughey. And I think that's a really beautiful place. How that fits into this moon, I'm not sure, but it brought me here. And I don't know, maybe our bodies are these vessels, you know, keeping them clean and free so that, you know, the universe can come through us so that we can do the work that we're meant to do. And I think that, you know, includes cleaning out, excavating out the stuff that isn't true within inside of us. I think that's a huge, incredible opportunity for each human to do personally. And that work has to be done by ourselves. Sadly, we cannot outsource that. You can try, but anyone works out how to do it, let me know. But my gut is it actually becomes easier, I think, when we're really honest with ourselves. Just moving through that muck becomes a lot easier. Anyway, I love you all. I'm so grateful. I see you, I see you, I see you, and I thank you for turning up and showing up, and keep being amazing. Thank you for listening. And if you want to talk about anything to do with your ascension journey, then hit me up. Bye. Love you. Ciao.